My name is Dennis Keil. I'm the Chief Curator at the Light Factory. Welcome to this exhibition. Of course, the Light Factory is located in Uptown Charlotte at Spirit Square. This exhibition, The Calm Before the Storm, Human Interactions with the Natural Landscape. It was actually inspired by a landmark exhibition in 1975 at the George Eastman House called The New Topographics. Prior to that, a lot of photographers like Ansel Adams were photographing nature and the landscape to show us how beautiful it was. But in 1975, a lot of photographers were looking at how we as humans have dealt with this particular landscape, for better or worse. And many shows have taken place since then, and for me, this exhibition is a continuation of that subject matter. It's how how we have interacted with nature, and we're looking at whether we've done a good job, whether things are as bad as they were, or maybe have gotten worse. This show consists of 4 photographers, each photographer who has looked at this subject matter in a different, but in many cases, a similar way. Well, this work here is by Camille Seaman. She lives in Emeryville, California, and she's done work for National Geographic. She's a TED Fellow, and she was a 2007 Critical Mass monograph winner, so she's done very well. This is a series in Antarctica, and also these mammoth icebergs. And so what's really great about these is that they are very, very large. It almost makes you feel like you're right there with these very dramatic icebergs. What she's done in this particular piece, which I think is, you could say is sort of a 19th century effect, is that she has people walking to the iceberg, so it gives it scale, so it makes it even make you think it's even larger than you may have imagined had you not seen these people. All right, this is another one of Camille's photographs. It's called The Crumbling Iceberg, and it's a very dramatic image, as you can tell. And what's really great about it, what really fascinates a lot of viewers, is not so much the actual iceberg, which is what pulls them into the photo, but also the background and what's receding in the background and the landscape there. And many people have thought, wow, just being there must be an incredible thing. And that's one of the approaches that Camille does, which fits in really well with the theme of The Calm Before the Storm, because she creates initially a beautiful image that draws you in, and the more you look at it, you realize that these icebergs are actually melting. And this is a series called The Last Iceberg. So the question is, how and why is this happening? Is it because of us? Just because of the nature of life in general? We don't know. One of the things about this series is that you really need to see them in person, because as you can tell right here, they are very large. And so you should come to the gallery here at the Light Factory to see the work in the flesh, more or less. Okay, on this wall we have the work of Pipo Nguyen-duyCarolina, who's originally from Vietnam. He teaches at Oberlin College. He recently won the 2011 Guggenheim Fellowship in Photography. And his approach is somewhat similar but very different, as he obviously is studying or examining man and nature, but also the fear aspect that we have since September 11th. This particular image right here is from a series called The East of Eden. And what I like about it is this is Lazy Boy, and a lot of people have asked me, did he actually find this chair in the water? Which really doesn't matter to me, but what I like about it is the fact that it really sort of pulls you in and catches your eye, and then the whole bottom part, which I think is really great because of this reflection, turns it into something else. And it kind of goes with what Edward Weston, the great photographer, said years ago, is that a good photograph will take the viewer beyond the image. So you know that there's a chair in the water, but the more you look at it, the more you see this reflection, the more you see the bottom part of the chair, it takes you somewhere else. And you start to see possibly a very abstract photo. All right, this work is by Kathleen Robbins. She teaches photography at the University of South Carolina. And she's done really well with this series this past year. She was on NPR, and in December she won the Reviewers Prize at Photonola, which is a big photography celebration in New Orleans. This is a series that she took on a farm in Mississippi that her family has owned for years. And it's really a study of how her family and her friends have taken care of the farm and have taken care or not taken care of nature. This particular photograph, one of my favorite from the series, is called Bill Brown. And it's one of these photographs that the more you look at it, the more you wonder how it fits into the theme. But the more you examine it, you look in the background here and the crops look very healthy, but in the foreground there's a lot of dying crops. You've got this dirt road. Why is this man standing here? And then this plane, which is apparently a crop duster. So what does all that mean? So to me, a lot of this photography and a lot of the photography that I like really makes you think more about what's going on and also how it connects to the theme. This is the work of Eric Tomberlin. He teaches photography at the University of North Carolina in Asheville. And his approach is a little different than I think the other photographers here. I like to call it maybe the Richard Mizrak approach, in that he lures you into the photo either by the beauty of the color or the shapes or the negative space or whatever. And once you get close to it, then he's got you. You start to realize that what I thought was a beautiful image, very pleasant image, I start to see these beer cans and these cups, and I realize there's trash there and maybe it's not so nice. Well, that's a tour of the exhibition, The Calm Before the Storm. I encourage you to come to the Light Factory to see the exhibition. It runs through May 6th. I encourage you to see the work of all the artists, especially Camille Seaman. You must see this work in person. And also, Camille will be here March 22nd to lecture at UNC Charlotte's main campus. It's at 7 p.m. For more information, go to our website at www.lightfactory.org.